happens to be a part of our heritage that we've lost touch with. The natural resource world is being asked to absorb more stresses and provide more services than it ever has before. And we have to make sure that as those demands are being made, that we understand what the limitations are.
It's a place that people love not only to use, but love enough to come and take care of.
Town forests provide an opportunity for people to feel an ownership of a piece of land and actively participate in them.
There are currently 141 Vermont communities that have established town forests. While each has a unique identity, all town forests have the potential to be places where local citizens can explore the functions and values of healthy, productive, beautiful forests. Today, serious challenges face the preservation of Vermont's forested character and rural heritage, including increased landscape fragmentation, shifting ownership patterns, value conflicts, and the increasing financial burden of holding land. Town forests are becoming increasingly important as outdoor community conservation centers, places where we can foster connections to where we live, work, and play, places to find common ground and build consensus around shared values. For this project, we sought out the stories of 5 towns around the state: Craftsbury, Stowe, Starksboro, Reedsboro, and Montpelier. We sought to explore the values that town forests provide to their communities and to gain a better understanding of the opportunities and challenges that face citizens interested in town forest conservation. We hope that in sharing these stories, we can learn from their experiences and inspire a growing commitment to town forest conservation, bringing people together through a connection to the land.
I've always believed that this will be a very valuable resource just for the local population to walk on, hunt on, hike on, maybe take their children there. There's a place or two to fish there, and some great wetlands for viewing wetland wildlife. So to some people that land isn't very valuable, but to others it's priceless.
It's very satisfying, the number of people who really see this as a treasured place for them. It means many things to different people, but basically for many people who really treasure it, it's like an oasis, where I've had people come to me and tell me, I wouldn't live here without, if this park wasn't here, I wouldn't live here. I have a busy day and I come here and by the time I leave here, I'm a new person.
Town forests provide phenomenal educational opportunities. First, they're located right in their communities, so they're reasonably accessible. They're lands that are really loved and enjoyed by the people of their community, so they're invested in them. And though they're small in size, they provide an opportunity to demonstrate careful stewardship of forests.
I've really not seen many forests that I don't think are beautiful, but this one's particularly special. It's got a lot of things going for it. Some rolling, gentle terrain, steep, rugged, alpine zones, wetlands, forests in various stages of development and succession.
It used to be a small little quaint thing for just the people in Reedsboro that knew about it, and along with the timber harvest bringing money in, and that's how most of the people that have been in town most of their life view it. It's the management. It isn't like, for example, it's $15,800 this year we get. It isn't that. We're getting use out of it. If we all want tables and wooden doors and stuff like this, it's got to come from somewhere, and I'm an advocate of having it harvested in a good, safe, economical way.
The town forests are places where people get involved for all sorts of different reasons, whether it's recreation or whether it's school groups. Certain towns are actually utilizing their forests for building local projects, making the connection between the land and the people.
Certainly any kind of recreational activity up there is fun. Being able to demonstrate that management can be done sensitively. We can all continue to learn about how to be good stewards of the land. There's just all kinds of opportunity. So connecting to our history, engaging our young people, providing opportunities for education, generating income, helping us all think about the connection that our forests make to our daily lives. Those are all benefits that I see coming from getting involved in a town forest. Especially if you don't happen to be a landowner, a large landowner. Having a place where you can go and see painted trillium and watch the otters and find these trees that are 4 feet in diameter, remnant maples.
Once in a while you'll get lucky and you'll find a part of an old horse-drawn cutter bar will be laid up on a stone wall somewhere or in between rocks. It's amazing what you may find with just a quick look. It's been there all a while, but Mother Nature has unearthed it, allowed you to see it at that point in time.
Those, we put those in the category of recreational benefits, but they're enriching your soul. And it sounds soft, but I think it's I think it's one of the great benefits of having a place like that. It just feels really great.
One of the things that was very powerful for Hubbard Park was when we replaced the steps, and there was some question whether the voters would pass the amount of money that it would take, $80,000 to do it, and it turned out to be got more votes than anything else in town. And since then, a survey has shown it's the most used facility in Montpelier, by far, more than the pool, more than baseball fields, more than any other place. We're the only city in the United States where you can walk out the side door of the State House building and walk 25 miles of trails, and certainly the only one where you can go up a short hill and get a 360-degree view from a tower.
We had the kids one year go up with the help of David Brin, the county forester, and identify trees that might be appropriate for use in creating new shelves for the town library. They were asked whether or not they thought this would be a good tree to choose for shelving. And so that forced them to think about, should it be left, should it be cut? What are the kinds of things that they would like to see in trees being left, or that they feel could be used for a product? The beautiful part of that is that the shelves are here every day, and the kids can come in and see them, and they can point to the tap holes in the front of the shelving that they know came from that tree that they chose. So it's a great reminder of that connection every day.
To me, the biggest success is that we have stayed in, have kept the land, that the town has kept the land, which has been a challenge at times.
The first timber sale we conducted was just a smashing success. We used a hybrid logging system using a team of horses to bunch the felled logs to the Catamount Trail, the main corridor running through that sale area, and then we used a medium-sized skidder to drag those bunched logs to the landing. I understand the idea of buffers, but the point here was to demonstrate exceptional forest management. I didn't want to hide it from anyone. I want skiers in the winter and hikers in the summer who use that trail to walk along that trail and look on either side and say, wow, this was logged recently, and boy, it looks pretty darn good.
Back early on, I'd say probably in the, I'm guessing, late 70s, early 80s, that Mr. White had marked out 322 cords of wood for the people, and I think they had to pay like $2 a cord or something. Again, the idea behind that is twofold. One is you weed out the bad timber to enable that forest to grow in a timely, better fashion. And at the same time, you help out some of the residents, or perhaps non-residents, staying in second line, with their firewood.
The use of this forest has grown tremendously. There was the Catamount Trail and its deeded trail easement across it, but existing in the same place was also a Vast and Stowe Snowmobile Club trail. And it didn't really work very well. There were some conflicts between skiers and snow machines. And so we spent quite a lot of time, as a Conservation Commission in particular, working with the residents in Sterling Valley, the Catamount Trail, the Snowmobile Club members, and scouting around on the ground to find an alternate location for either the Catamount Trail or the snowmobile trails. And it's just a matter of balancing more of all of those different uses. I think we've been really lucky in Sterling Forest in that a lot of really good things have happened, from trail projects to timber sales and educational programs and workshops and field trips for schools, and all kinds of good stuff has happened. And it's all happened relatively smoothly, and I think we're lucky that it's worked that way, and I think it's due in part to reasonable planning, taking it slow and thinking about things and having a plan and following it. And we've just benefited from that level of interest and the organization of the snowmobile club, the mountain biking club, the Catamount Trail.
The tools we've mostly used is just a collective interest. I don't feel like it takes a lot of money. I don't feel like it takes a lot of expertise. I think the main obstacles are getting a commitment and getting excited. Once people are excited, then it's not hard to sustain a commitment. So I think the vision going forward is to be doing things in the town forest that can demonstrate exemplary forestry and also use it as a vehicle to connect people to good forestry and to connect the working landscape to the community.
We would all agree that we want our forests to be healthy, and we want our forests to be productive, and we want our forests to be beautiful. And so where we could probably all agree is we want our forests to produce clean, clear water. We want the soils to be stable. We want them to be biologically diverse. And then how we're going to use them is probably the area where there can be some debate. But town forests have the opportunity to be used for lots of different forestry activities. And every acre doesn't have to be something to everybody, but most of the forests are large enough to represent a lot of different interests.
Reedsboro's a relatively small town, out of the way, halfway between Bennington and Brattleboro. So it was quiet itself, out of the way, and that's, I think, what we want to keep it that. And again, it's a water source.
Worst case scenario is that the citizens of the town will face the proverbial shortage of funds for this and that and whatever, and we'll start looking at, okay, we have about 200 acres. The best case, we continue to manage it the way we are for all the right reasons, own it, measure it, keep harvesting a meager amount of lumber under a careful forest management plan.
I hope to see Sterling Forest as Sterling Forest forever, and that it will be an active place. It will be a forest, a functioning, healthy forest foremost. And layered over that would be lots of good uses consistent with healthy forests, used by people who understand the forest, that it will be a tremendous resource. So everything from just providing unbroken forested habitats, recreational access, opportunities for demonstration of good management and education, and watershed protection. It's a pretty, not to mention income, periodic income over the long term through timber management. There's a lot that will come from this forest that's good.
It's a place that people love not only to use, but love enough to come and take care of. And that's one of the secrets to it being the special place that it is.
It's the kind of thing that takes root over time. We need to bring people up there. We need to bring people up there and connect them to the stories of that place.
I believe that town forests are going to become increasingly important. Owning land in Vermont is becoming increasingly difficult for middle income and lower income people. And town forests provide an opportunity for people to feel an ownership of a piece of land and actively participate in them. So I think that the demand for town forests will expand, and it's a wonderful model for conservation. It's important, though, that the land be inclusive. I believe it's important that people who have a variety of perspectives on conservation be able to feel at home in a town forest. And I think that's perhaps one of the greatest potential gifts of a town forest to a community, is that it can actually bring people together.
People are starting to recognize that there are successes out there, and my personal philosophy is that there's an energy that builds if you talk about those successes, and if you do that in a way like this project hopefully does, that makes it accessible to people and they can see for themselves that we could do that. That's not so hard. We have that potential. we could make those connections.
When the labor's done, I'll stand and listen to the silence all around. There's not a sound in the setting sun, only the robin's song drifting through the trees on a gentle breeze. I'll take the hill and the valley's full of sunshine. I'll take the long days working with my hands. I'll take the fields and the forests in the moonlight. I'll take my chances living from the land. I'll take my chances living from the land.